Let's see if Aseel's microphone is on. Your video is off, but your mic is on. Hello, Aseel. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right. I'm actually on a call with Donna. She's going to join us soon. Donna, I'm going to end the call because it's giving feedback on the Zoom. All right. I'll see you on Zoom soon. It is working. Aseel had trouble with that first link as well. So, but the second one is definitely working. All right. I'll be there in 1 second, Aseel. There we go. Just, I don't know, for some reason, sometimes, electronics and links and things, they don't always work the way we want them to. But we adapt, right? We adapt.
Absolutely.
How are you, Aseel? How are you? I've been keen to chat to you.
I'm well. Well, sorry?
So I've been keen to chat to you again. It seems like ages since you were here. I don't know why that is, but it goes that way for me. I was just saying to Donna, time for me sometimes it works a little differently because of the intensity, because it just, I don't know, it seems like it was a long time ago. Let me just, go ahead.
Yeah, that's true. For me too. I mean, I had a full day after you guys, and now it feels like it was more than just a day ago we met.
Exactly. It's because of that intensity. Sorry, I'll be with you in my full attention. I'm just attending to giving the links to
How many people?
It's hard to say. I don't know. The link has gone out to at least half a dozen. Well, the updated link. So it depends on the day who comes and who doesn't. So I don't mind if it's just one. I know Donna's definitely coming, and there's somebody, and then Beena said she'll be here soon. So
great. And how long is this meeting?
It's as long as we like it to be. There's no time limit, So it's just we go as appropriate with whatever we're chatting about. So we don't have a time limit. Same as with the experience, Donna, just to catch you up, Aseel came and did our workshop here in our home in Sedona. So she was here a couple nights ago, and we had fun. So. So that we can actually start right there, Aseel. That's why I was keen to chat to you, because it's really cool to do a takeaway. Brilliant! And we got video for Donna too. Excellent. Hello, Donna.
Hello.
I'm keen to do a takeaway, Aseel, on the workshop. In other words, now that we've had a couple of days since then, to go back over it and for you to share what stayed with you, what has been important to you, what's been valuable to you, what's been significant to you, what made a difference to you. Basically just do a whole recap of the experience and tell us about how it's been affecting you or is affecting you inside, what you're going to use, how it's making a difference, and so on.
Okay. Just remember, I just opened my eyes. I haven't had my coffee yet.
That's okay. That's no problem. That's no problem at all. Aseel, if Donna and I can go over some stuff if you want to, take a few moments to make some coffee and that. There's no problem.
That would be great. Just
okay, brilliant.
Let's do that.
We adapt and we flexible and we always adapt as appropriate, always. So it's never a worry, anything. We have fun. We have fun. That's the main thing. Right, Donna?
That's right.
Yeah, gotta have fun. Donna, I'm assuming you at home, not at the office?
I'm at the office.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, because the picture is very stable, so that's why I was wondering. So, but it's Saturday, so good. I love that you go in on Saturdays all the time. Donna, before we get going on, I got lots of stuff to go over with you, and I'm assuming you have with me too, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
But I just wanted to say I did reorganize the course somewhat. So I don't think it's going to affect you because I don't think you got to past module 2 yet, I don't think. So the module 1 stays the same. and I think there's an extra session added to module 2. I can't remember, but anyway, just when you start again, just make sure that that the sessions at least inside module 2 and going forward, that you've done them if you went past module 2 already. So just have a check, and you'll see I changed the titles of the modules. And when you do the session, I'll show you what I did. I did it also so that because somebody mentioned that they said they'd like to see the module name as part of the lessons, because that way it kind of gives you the theme, the connectivity of where one is at. Okay, all right. Well, we can have a look at this one. Okay, I'll share the screen in a moment. Yeah, let's see. All right. I never even asked how you are, Donna. I'm sorry. I'm just assuming you're good.
I'm good. I'm great. Thank you.
See, I put up at the top the name of the module. Not the session name, the module name. So as we go through, you see it will stay up at the top. So it keeps that connectivity to the overall focus of what we're doing. So I changed the name of the modules to be more representative, and kind of some of the sessions was kind of spread out a little bit. So I just kind of put them together in the groupings a little bit more. It doesn't really matter which order, but it's just me. My Mr. A likes to have things a little bit neat and tidy. So. So anyway, yeah, I like to tweak and improve stuff. So we'll come back to this. We can actually do this. It's part of module 2, and we've done one part of that already, one session of it already, but we can do more. So I just want to look at something here real quick, because now my order has been a little bit, where I made them on this where I made the slides, it doesn't show the same. They're in a different order. All right, here we go. So all right, so that's not even, so that's in another module. Okay, so we go to takeaways and the moment of now. All right. Oh, so this is it. Yeah. Okay. All right. So that Donna, on the one that we did, I think that moved into module. I don't know. It moved
Attunement.
down the list. Did it go all the way down to attunement?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what we covered last time we spoke.
Yeah. Yeah, we jumped to the end. That's right. We jumped there. Yeah, all right. Never mind. It doesn't matter. There is no real order. Some of them are the start and the end. Attunement is like that. But on this, on module 2, that philosophy of takeaway, that's one you can just do on your own. There's not really much to do it. We're already doing the takeaways, and it's sort of pretty self-explanatory, but it will add a little bit of extra perspective on the takeaways. So that'd be kind of cool. But this one, we can do this, the moment of now. We can do that a little bit later when Aseel comes back. But I'm kind of keen to ask, just in terms of where we were precisely on that attunement, because it's it's not a topic that lends itself to the online session. It's one where one has to really connect it to one's everyday life in terms of how it's being used and not being used. Yeah.
Yep.
So have you
Sure.
any feedback on that? Any takeaways? What you've been thinking about? Like maybe go over your notes from last time, just so we can do a recap and kind of connect back to it again.
Yeah. No, just the biggest takeaway I had was just not fighting the universe.
Yeah.
And whether you're doing it unconsciously or being aware of a fight, because I do feel as though there's a bit of a battle, but it's not that I'm attempting to offer resistance in any way. It's just sometimes unaware, and making sure you shift to that awareness and shift the perspective of what's going on.
Right.
So just a continuation of learning that and fine-tuning that skill and having it become me.
Brilliant.
To the point where I don't even have to, so-called quote unquote work on it.
Exactly.
It just is me.
Exactly. And that would be the key with attunement, is not to, as you say, to undo unconscious or undeliberate resistance, and to specifically and deliberately be aware of the idea, the concept of attunement, so that we can actually start to look around and say, hey, what's going on? Where's the flow? And look for what to attune to. And that makes a very big difference when we actively start to pay attention to what's going on. Right?
Yep, sure does.
And then you start to see the world through a different lens, with a different viewpoint, and everything starts to change and start to be different. And then particularly too, when we look at what's going on in our lives, what the pressures are, what the forces of our lives are, and we shift that perspective to say, hey, what's in this year? What is the awareness learning that is coming at me? What am I supposed to be learning here? What can I learn from this? And we can insist on extracting learning, whether it's there or not. We can create it and make it and pull it from there. So it doesn't matter whether it's actually there or not. We can get learning no matter what. And when we do that, then we start to see the actual gifts that really are there of themselves, and that's when it gets exciting. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Donna, did anything happen since we last spoke? Anything of any kind?
Well, there was a lot of learning opportunities this week.
Brilliant. Hello, Beena. Hello, Beena. We'll chat with you in a second. Oh, so I was just asking Beena. I was just asking Donna if anything happened to her since we last spoke, and that's what she's saying. There's a lot of learning opportunities. Let's hear, Donna. Let's hear.
There just seems to be, when you spoke of being deliberate in your awareness of attunement, I may not have had words for it, but I've been experiencing a shift in perspective and how the world looks to me. And it's comforting to my soul in some way to have others that I can have a voice to share that perspective with. In that also is when you ask for growth of your soul and to have that attunement and be deliberate in your living, there's just there's a door that opens up also to that growth. And sometimes growth is through things that may be a limiting belief that you hold that you're not even aware of, or an opportunity for a situation for you to have patience where you haven't in the past, and you're becoming aware of, oh, okay, here's one of those where I just want to lose my patience because this silly computer isn't working. And then you're like, wait a second, it's just a computer. You'll figure it out.
I love it.
And you just start shifting everything.
Yes.
And so in that, it can be comforting because you're aware.
Yes.
And in that, it can add those butterflies because you're also aware there's a room for expansion. So for me, that's what I'm working on, the butterflies, just trying to shift that into, this feels good, and I'm aware, and Rome wasn't built in a day, and I have some things I'm doing, and I've come a long way. Be patient with myself.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Yeah, that's what my week was about. And it'll show up in like worldly events, but I know that there's a much deeper meaning.
Yeah.
But in the world, like at work, there'll be a situation with, like I said, the computer not working. We had a bunch of that because we moved. And I'll communicate because it's appropriate to communicate to some people. Oh, I'm feeling this frustration. But inside, I know that what I'm really feeling is, oh, I have an opportunity for growth here. And sometimes I'll say that to people, but most of the time it's just I'll put the actual circumstance and I'll use those words. But I know within myself it's an opportunity for my soul to be growing in patience or love or whatever it is.
Yes, exactly.
And yeah, so, and that's the most important thing. And so sometimes when people ask me, oh, how was your week? I can tell you about soul growth, right? And what we're working on. And maybe a few
Right.
other people, but
Right.
everybody else, it's going to be, oh, I had a great week, and I'll know
Exactly.
why.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. It doesn't matter. You know what? We always share as appropriate. For some, we can share on
Right.
one level, and some we share on a different level. Always as appropriate. That's what being a spirit warrior is all about. You know, it's all depends on what exactly fits the situation, and also that shift for you now. It's been a profound shift because you seeing the world as this great big magical classroom as opposed to being a
Mm-hmm.
series of struggles. And then the other thing I wanted to say, and I'm going to ask Beena to elaborate a bit on this, because this has been Beena's world. She's been immersed in this lately. It's that the shift always, whenever those things happen, those circumstances, and we talked about force of circumstance, right? So that
Right.
force of circumstance, you were experiencing them in some way. Always they connect to the core root for giving us the opportunity to be impeccable. That's the key, right? And impeccability involves, of course, being patient, being diligent, being scrupulous, being thorough, being kind, being courteous, all of those things. They all fall under impeccability and appropriateness, right? So all of those are opportunities for the application, because that's what we want. Because without application, it's all meaningless, right?
Right.
All right. So the other thing I wanted to also just mention in this oh, Donna, you said that, you know, that you get butterflies because there's an awareness that there's room for expansion. Am I understanding
Right.
that correctly? Okay.
Right.
But think of this. We want to practice perspective shifting as much as we can, because perspective shifting changes. We can find the sublime in the mundane, and it's just a perspective shift away. So perspective shifting is that magic lever which changes everything. So if we perspective shift on that perception that, okay, there's a bit of butterflies because I'm aware now of how much growth and room I have and what all I need to work on. But think of it this way: what would it be like if you weren't aware of that potential expansion? Wouldn't that be horrible?
Yeah, it was pretty horrible.
Right. I mean, or just going in your whole life not knowing that you have this capacity for expansion. That well would be terrible. You'd lose out on all that magic, right?
Right.
So those butterflies are butterflies of excitement, actually, when you think of it that way, right?
Right.
Because it's now, wow, I'm Donna and I'm also more. And there's this
Right.
much more that I could have. So we have to understand that I am enough and I'm also more. The two go together, even though they might seem to contradict somewhat, but they don't. So you are enough as you are now, and you're also more. The two are the same.
Right. I get that. I
Right.
understand what you're saying.
Right, right. I'm just confirming it, because yes, it's repetition, and sometimes we say the obvious, and you already kind of know it. It doesn't matter. We just repeat it because it helps to get it to the inside of us. You know what I mean? Our minds sometimes understand, and they do, but we need to get the body to understand. So that's where the repetition comes from. Yeah.
Oh, I get it. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
appreciate that. And I'm just saying I get it. So you're
Gotcha.
aware that
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
getting it at the deeper level
Gotcha.
of
Gotcha.
just the words.
Yeah. Yeah. I
That's
mean,
what
I,
that
I repeat
means.
it because I think you get it.
Okay. Yeah.
It's just like a confirmation takeaway, which is
Right.
kind of handy to do. It's really cool. I like that thought though about, I am enough, but I'm also more, because that's what goodness is. Goodness is always enough, and there's always room for more goodness because there's always more of everything. So we can
Right.
we have to understand that and enjoy ourselves now. That's the point that I want to get to also. That our path, our journey as spirit warriors, as agents, or whatever, however we conceive ourselves, this journey of growth, it's not about a journey to a destination. The journey is the destination because it's an infinite journey. So we have to say, it's now, I'm enjoying the journey. Destination is infinity, so that there is no destination. It's the journey that is the destination. So our joy is now. We enjoy learning, we enjoy growing, we enjoy discovery, we enjoy discovering ourselves, we enjoy finding out, hey, I can learn new things, I can do new things, I am more. Oh, wow, oh, brilliant, okay, and so on. And we enjoy updating and upgrading ourselves, very much like the computers. We need constant updating, right?
Right.
And that's exciting when we think of it that way, right?
It is.
Brilliant,
Mm-hmm.
brilliant, brilliant. Donna, I'm also keen as you go through with things to look at them very specifically, because we're dealing with attunement in general, and that's what we spoke about. But also to look at things which are odd and unusual, weird, peculiar, that statistically don't kind of fit into things that are improbable, that are even impossible, that are like, wow, that was really wild, anything of that nature. And then pay attention to what's happening at that moment around you, and very important, and what's happening inside you at that moment when your attention is grabbed and pulled by that anomaly, whatever the odd and unusual and wild thing is. And then we'll chat about that, because that's like a whole language that one learns. It's that language of learning to interpret that and to see the world, instead of seeing the world as a very literal place and, okay, we see computers and this and that. We start to see them symbolically and metaphorically, and then our whole world changes, and then we really start to live in a magical world. It's very powerful. Did anything like that happen this week?
Yep, sure did.
Oh, please share if you can.
Okay.
Oh,
It had to do with birds.
wow, I'm listening.
Okay. So I was driving to work, and for no apparent reason, a bird flew right in front of my grill, and it died. And then 2 seconds after that, a bird, what was it? A part of a flock of geese. One of them just decided to, right after the one died, and I kept going, it was within 30 seconds, flew right into the street and landed right in front of my car, made me stop, and decided to walk. And then I was here at work, and right outside my office, I have a tree, and a green heron fell out of the tree and hurt itself. And my coworker was out there and came and got me. So we tried to get it in a box. We called, there's a nature center that would help it. So we called and asked if it would take it, and they gave us instructions. So 2 other people went out there to get it, and it was running the best it could. It broke its wing and its leg. And it was, like running around, and everybody was like, well, I'm not going to be able to get this. And I went out there and I just talked to it, and it just stopped running right when I started talking to it. And I was able to go right up to it, and I put like a cloth over it, and I put it in the box.
Oh
And then
my
I
goodness.
took it to help it. So that was pretty profound, I felt. I don't think that was just a coincidence.
No. I mean, that talk about an anomaly. You didn't just get an anomaly. You got like a super. That's unbelievably incredible. I mean, that's wow. All right. First of all, let's just look at this from a pure. Okay, we'll call in the bureaucrats, and we'll analyze this from a statistical point of view. Okay, you flew into a bird. That happens. That's not unusual. But the
Yeah.
fact that just a couple of seconds later, this geese lands in the road and then decides to walk. That's very unusual, right? I mean,
Very.
when you combine it with the bird in your grill, that's exceedingly unusual. Then you go to work and, well, the heron falls out of the tree. Who ever heard of a bird falling out of a tree and hurting itself? It doesn't make any sense. That's just like impossible as far as I'm concerned, right?
There's not very many green herons around either, we
Right,
found out.
exactly. So not only any bird, but an unusual bird. And like you'd think, well, for heaven's sake, birds are used to being in trees, and well, they can fly on the way down. They don't have to, it just may. And then you go and you talk to the bird, and it allows you to put it in the box. It's just a whole series of it is profoundly, really huge anomaly. All right. So the first thing we ask when we see this is very obviously an anomaly. First thing is, when you were driving, at that moment when you ran into that bird, go back inside, close your eyes maybe, and put yourself in the car. You're driving there, and feel yourself in. What were you thinking? What were you listening to? What was going on right in that moment? What was going on inside you?
I actually was very happy. I just had a peace, and I was like, this new office is gonna like be good, and we're gonna have some new energy and a new start. And so it was all about like new beginnings, is what I was thinking about driving to work.
Interesting. And then when the bird hit, what changed at that moment?
Well,
If
that
anything changed.
day, that day was particularly challenging with, well, I shouldn't say challenging. It had a
Oh,
lot
it's
of
a challenge is
opportunity.
good. Challenge is good.
Well, okay. Um, I was just like thinking a lot about direction in life and just my soul's mission and how it sort of connects to work and relationships and my kids and how this was all gonna unfold. I was thinking a lot about that day. The
Ah,
unfolding of some things. Yep.
so you were in when you were saying thinking of that, you when you say that, what do you mean exactly, Donna?
I was thinking about like when I look at my physical self and what I'm experiencing with my job and with my family and with my relationships, how there's an interconnection between my growth and my expansion and how it's going to unfold with those relationships.
Interesting. All right. So right after you hit the bird, the first one, and then you said you were in a happy space, you were at peace, right? And then obviously
Yeah.
that happened. How did your mood change then, or your thoughts, or your feelings, if they changed at all, when you hit the bird?
I felt bad I hit the bird,
Right.
but yeah.
But nothing significant really changed. Then,
No, I
then
still stayed in peace. It happened. There wasn't anything I can do about it. I
right,
thought about, should I go and help it? Should I see if it's okay? And I thought, no, it's not moving. I'm sure I did think
right,
to myself, should I go and help it?
right,
And then I did help that bird outside the window. So I
right.
thought,
Right, but
oh, that's
let's go through.
interesting.
I'm keen to go when the geese landed or the goose landed, right, on the
Yeah, that was
road and
so bizarre.
that's why I'm going through it in sequence. So you're thinking, okay, you were at peace, you hit the bird, stuff happens, you can't do anything about it. Yeah, you don't like that it happened, but it's not throwing you off. So
Mm.
obviously there's a bit more to the story, right? Because you got the geese that landed and then walked, and it stopped you, right? You had to stop for the
Yeah.
goose, and that's quite amazing. So what did you think when you were watching the goose?
Well, that's interesting. What am I supposed to be learning right now? How am I feeling right now?
Is that what you were thinking at that moment?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. All right, so let me ask you then, what do birds and a goose in specifically, what do they represent to you symbolically, and what would they represent then at that time? What did they represent to you in a symbolic way?
I birds I have a lot of geese around me actually because I live on a golf course. Birds
Ah,
and birds in general, if I could have a superpower, you know how people ask you, if you
yeah,
could have a superpower, what would you do? I've always wanted to fly.
there you go.
And yeah, skydiving. I just talked to the guy that did the computers because we were having some challenges with him and he went skydiving and that's one of the things on my bucket list. I have a fascination with flying. And sometimes in my dreams, well, a lot of times in my dreams I am flying. I've had that since I was a child. I
Nice,
literally feel like I'm
nice,
flying.
nice, nice, nice,
So
nice. All right, so the whole thing is starting to make sense now. I mean, I can now see the whole pattern of the entire little story that's come your way. We don't even have to go to the heron at all. But let me see if it makes sense what I'm thinking. All right, I mean, this is my idea here. All right, so the birds represent flying, and flying obviously represents freedom, and flying also represents a shift. Like if you had a superpower, in your case, you're saying literally, you are saying that representation of flying is you connecting to your superpowers. So in other words, it represents that transition from you as a regular person to the super Donna, right? To being an
right.
impeccable spirit warrior, etc. So there's the shift. But from what you said earlier, it sounds like there's some trepidation about this shift of moving from kind of regular Donna into superpower flying Donna. There's some concern about it, a little bit of nervousness maybe of this new change of being. Yes?
Yes.
All right. So if we look at this story that says, hey, you know what? Flying can be dangerous too. The first bird was flying and it got hit because it was flying, right? Second
Mm-hmm.
bird, it is flying, it lands and it walks. It's maybe saying, hey, be careful of flying before you're ready. Sometimes you need to walk a bit, right? Then you get the third bird that's in the tree and it falls and it breaks its wing and its leg. And it's saying, hey, you know what? Chill, take it easy. And then when you came and spoke to it, it was chill and it was easy. And then you sent it off to get help. So it's saying to you, don't worry about things. Get, avail yourself and use the help that is coming to you. Does that make sense?
It does.
Does that make sense? And also, that heron, it didn't ask you to help it, right?
Nope. My colleague was just out there having a cigarette, and she just happened to see it fall.
Right.
And then she came and got me because I don't even know why.
Exactly. But when you went and spoke to it, you, Donna, you were eager to help that heron, right?
Yeah.
All right.
I didn't want it to be suffering.
Right. Exactly. So understand this about helping, that helping is the one who's doing the helping gets benefit from helping. Yeah.
Sure.
You see the logic involved. I'm relating back to earlier conversations of us and our connectivity, right?
Right.
That it's not a one-way street. In other words, it goes both ways. So that in part of this process, you might also feel somewhat, if we look at the symbology of it, that, hey, you know what, you're starting to fly, but you're a little bit, it's like too much almost, and that you got to go back to the goose that landed, and it forced you to kind of stop, right? And then it walked across the thing. It's saying, just chill, just take a step back. You don't have to go. You don't have to fly just yet. You can walk first, right?
Right.
So it's pretty profound when you look at it from that point of view. In terms of the meaning for you and in terms of where you're at and how symbolically it represents that, hey, you know what, just relax and don't worry about it. You don't have to fly just yet. You can walk and you can chill and you can get help and enjoy the help, and it's not a problem. And whether you've got a broken wing or a broken leg, it don't matter. That too can get fixed. So no worries. There is help for everything. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
How you perceive yourself, it doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter. You don't have to be a bird in this. You don't have to be flying in terms of what we do. You can be on the ground walking. That's fine. That's to me what the message is saying. Don't worry about anything. Just enjoy what's going on, and maybe take that step back a little bit and get grounded like that goose. That was like a very powerful message right there, Does that resonate, Donna?
Yeah.
You feel that? That's
Yeah.
really huge. I gotta tell you, these anomalies like this, to me, they always so incredible. I never get tired of hearing stories of the anomalies because it's just like so magical. It's so impossible to me. My brain, it's like, wow. Many people, they don't see these anomalies because it just freaks their brain out and say, no, it's too impossible. It's too impossible. And then they see it and just some weird coincidence and they just write it off. We cannot do that. It's very, very critical because look how much is in that. And as you go through and you start to think about it in this symbolic way, you'll probably pull a lot more meaning than I can pull from it because it's personal to you. I'm just kind of I'm trying to use it as to represent how to connect to them, to say, hey, you know what, sometimes we like, for instance, you got to walk before you can fly in this case, or you don't have to fly. I mean, you can fly if you want to, but walking is cool too, right? That's what that first kid said, and it also stopped you, right?
Right.
It says, stop, Donna, chill, that's it, walk a little bit. I mean, it's very clear that, right? And then the same thing, it's like you're up in that tree there, and maybe, a heron doesn't quite always hang out in trees. Maybe it's not, don't be up there, be on the ground, because herons are ground birds, right? So it's saying, well, they are. They kind of wade in the water like that, and they spend a lot of time on the ground. They don't live in trees generally. Well, not as far as I know, anyway. They're kind of big.
Yeah,
birds.
this was a green heron too, not a blue one.
Oh.
And they're very rare. So
right. So another thing saying, hey, you're a rare bird, which you are. You really are. It's quite magical. Donna, that's just so incredible. So as you go through until we speak again next time, make notes of everything that relates and connects to this particular story. This not story, this anomaly, this experience in your life, because it's a really deep and profound experience, and they almost inevitably have more meanings. but also their meanings are going to change as you change. And sometimes once we kind of get it, then it doesn't become relevant anymore. But at any rate, just look at that, and maybe in your job, maybe there's you need to kind of ask for help in your work as well, because all your week was more concerned with your stuff happening at your work and pressure in your work, right? Things not working smoothly, broken wings and broken legs at your work, right?
Yeah, for the most part, but it also was a little bit about, yeah, for the most part.
Right. So just look at it from that angle as well. Sometimes, it might be you the one that needs to ask for help because you need help, or you need to be giving help to people and do it in the same way as you did to that heron. You just went and you spoke to it nice and softly and gently, and then it allowed you to help it, right?
Right.
So that's kind of a profound message too there. Maybe you got to do the same with your coworkers who don't want to listen. You got to treat them the same as that heron. Kind of be soothing and gentle, because they stress the ones with the broken wings and the broken legs also, right?
Right.
Does that apply? I don't know how
Yes.
your works at your. It does. Oh,
Yeah, I can be very direct.
there you
And so
go. So
yeah, I can smooth myself out a little bit, have
there
more
you go.
finesse.
Right. So
Yeah.
treat them like that heron with the broken wing and the broken leg. It's scared, right? I mean, you wanted to help it at first, but it ran away from you, right?
It ran away from the other people. Yeah.
From the other people, right? But again, they wanted to help it also, but it ran away. And the same thing with your coworkers. So you have to go and you speak to them gently and put them in a space where they understand that, hey, you're going to help them, and they're not going to get in trouble with you for you helping them, right?
Right.
Because I think they might think that they fear you, Donna. Seems like. Could that be?
Oh, I hope not.
Right, but see, they might not really realize who you are, because you are truthful and you honest and you earnest, and that makes you direct, right? Because you don't want to tolerate sloppiness, and you like that for your job, things to be really good and to be impeccable and right. And so that's where you come from, right? Looking to do a good job, yes.
Yes, it is.
So they don't see that side of you necessarily that we see, that they don't see that earnestness, that goodness coming out, that, hey, you're just trying to be good. But, maybe that, just like with a heron, you've got to add that gentleness to your goodness. Does that make sense?
Sure does.
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. I think Aseel has joined us again. Hi, Aseel. Donna.
Hi.
So going forward, make notes of specifically how the story of the birds, how it connects going further, and how utilizing it works out. I'm very keen to hear, how this follows on.
Okay.
Brilliant, brilliant. Aseel, we'll get you in a minute. I'm very keen to hear from Beena. So Beena, I'll unmute you. Beena, if you would, uh, will you share with us the same, like basically what's been happening with you since we last spoke? What's been going on? What's significant? Was there anything unusual that happened? How you've been dealing with things, and if you would share as well what you shared in your post about impeccability and how it's impacting you.
Okay, hi, and hello, Donna, and
Hello.
hello, Aseel. And by the way, Donna, you have amazing smile. I just love that when you were smiling. You're
Yes,
all brightening up, so it
yes.
is amazing. It's
I
just
agree.
wonderful.
I
I just
agree.
love that.
I agree.
And other than that, I was listening to you. So first, sorry, Sil, it is so exciting the story she shared, and I was like, wow, wow.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, it's a
So
most incredible, magnificent story. And yes, Beena,
yes.
if your camera's working, I'm keen to give it a try, by the way, so we can see you too, so we can see your lovely smile.
Yeah, that'd be
But
great.
yes, I would definitely, but right now my circumstances are really different.
Okay.
So that. So
All
I'm
right.
so sorry for that.
All right.
But
No worries. No worries.
yeah, but I can see you guys, and it is incredible.
Yes.
Donna, it is amazing. I never heard any story before in so much details. It is like having
Yes.
watching a movie or something, because it is like a fully orchestrated story kind of thing. First, you saw the dead bird, and then walking one, and then the one who hurt him or herself falling from trees, which is unusual. But yes, it is also, yes, like still said that, okay, it is about your superpower connection and all that. That, okay, you flying is a superpower for you, but also you were thinking about your relationships
Mhm.
with family, with other working relationship and all that.
That's true.
Sorry, Sil. So your voice is mute.
Yes. No, sorry. I was talking to Olivia over here. So
Okay. And I was looking at you as if you were saying something.
no. Sorry,
Okay.
sorry.
So I don't know. Maybe it is just my personal view that you saw that those three birds, in different position, but in a unique way. One fall from a tree, which is really absolutely rare.
Right.
We saw a bird falling from a tree.
And hurting itself. I never heard of that ever. I never heard of that. It's incredible.
But you talk to that bird and listen, and she or he, I don't know what the proper word for that I use, but she
Say
actually
they.
listened, which is
Right?
amazing.
They.
Yeah, which is amazing.
It's really
and
incredible.
and I think that it is more, just like Sil said, that it is more to you, like personally you were thinking about your relationships, and you got three incredibly uh, intricate kind of messages with so much details.
Yeah.
So it's all where I think that you should concentrate on these things more, because I believe, I feel that it is about the moment you first encounter with that and you were thinking about relationships. So you must concentrate on these things also.
Yeah, it's very magical. The symbolic interpretation is obviously the thing that
Yes.
makes a big difference. Hey, Beena, before you tell us about what's been happening with you, Aseel, did
Yes.
you? Well, let's hear maybe Aseel's perspective on Donna's story. I'm not sure if Aseel heard the whole story of Donna's story about the birds. Did you, Aseel?
Yes, I did hear it. Hi, Dana. Hi, Beena.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, how are
How
you?
are you?
Yeah,
Good.
it is Donna actually. It was just misspelt as dinner, so it is Donna with an
Oh,
O
okay, Donna. Okay,
actually.
great.
That's not my accent. So what do you think what do you think of Donna's experience of that anomaly? We never in the workshop we never went on to attunement and anomalies, but it's part of the course. So that's how come it's come up, because it's the last time that Donna and I interacted, which was all about attunement, and it's attunement, alignment, and anomalies, a little triangle there. So that's why this is pertinent and relevant. But still, I'm kind of keen to hear your perspective on Donna's experience and how it connects for you.
Um, well, I believe, just like you all are saying, this was a magical moment where it kind of just made her stop and just really take it all in. But I was very intrigued with when you asked her, what does a bird represent to you?
Yes,
And it's very much her whole being is about the act of being a bird,
exactly,
uh,
exactly.
and how that came to her in sort of like, it's almost like a movie, a future movie played out
Yes,
in
yes,
front of her.
exactly.
The steps that, where she wants to be, and the steps that it's almost like
Right,
it's the universe is telling her, you know
exactly,
you can
exactly.
fly, yes, you can go
Yes,
skydiving and you can feel it, but to really for have your soul fly, you are gonna go through step maybe A and B and
yes,
C, and then
yes.
once you,
Yes.
yeah, at the end of the day, you will have the power to actually make people fly, which to me is the healing of the bird.
Absolutely.
That last point, Donna, that Aseel said, that's really powerful. What do you think, Donna?
I'm just taking it in.
Right, but it's very powerful. What Aseel said, her interpretation. She doesn't know you from Adam, but she's saying that she's looking at that, and what she pulls from it is that you are going to help people to fly at some point. That's really profound. That's really incredible. I mean,
Nice meeting you, Donna.
wow, no. I mean, it's huge because I mean, I obviously know Donna a little bit more, and once you get to know Donna more, you'll see how profound that is. That's really, really huge. What it says. Plus also what you said about when I asked Donna about what the birds mean to her. I was asking that very deliberately and very specifically because when we encounter these anomalies, yes, they are communications from the universe or from our higher self, from our soul, however we wish to think of it. But they are absolutely communications that have much in them for us personally. So when we look at them symbolically, we've got to look at them from the perspective of what does it represent to us personally, not what birds mean symbolically in general or meaning, or don't go look it up on the internet or anything like that. No, it's what it means to us personally. That's very important because on one day the bird could mean something and on another day they could mean something else. I think I used this example with Donna when we spoke about symbols. Like I had an anomaly involving doves. And well, doves can, like, for some people they represent peace, and other people they represent love and all this, and faithfulness and all sorts of different things. But for me, they were just doves, and at that time they just represented stupidity because doves are, they're not the smartest of birds. So, so I'm just saying, it depends. It varies. It's what it represents to you and what it represents to you then, at that time, not in general, at that moment. These anomalies are incredibly and just most awesomely intimately personal, very intimately personal. So it's all about what was going on with you at that time, not specifically necessarily that exact moment, but let's say, like, things have been happening in your life and it's an ongoing story. And even though Donna was at peace, there was still lots of stuff going on that was connected to that, right, Donna?
Right.
So the whole story connects to what was going on with you in your life. Your life changes, what we've been going on, the course, everything, right? It all works together. The stuff at work, it all comes in there and it all fits together when we kind of see the sense of it. And usually we just have to make that perspective shift to look at it, what it means to us. Very powerful, yeah?
It's funny you said that because when you asked me the question, what does a bird represent to me? That was the first time I was aware of the fact that it is all about, when I've looked at superpowers and when people say, what would you like to do? It's always flying. It's always been that. That wasn't in my awareness until you asked. And I literally went to the internet and looked up all these different birds. So I'm guilty of exactly what
It's all good. It's all
I'm
good.
like, okay, this means something. What?
It's all good. Brilliant. Brilliant. Olivia is able to join us. Olivia, I don't know if you heard Donna's story about the birds. Donna had a most incredible anomaly of 3 birds. I mean, the first, she was driving along and the bird flew in front of the grill and she ran into the bird. And then just like 30 seconds after that, this goose was flying and it landed in the road and she had to stop. And then it walked off the edge of the road. It was really incredible. Then she went to the office and a green heron, a very rare heron, it fell out of the tree and hurt its wing and leg. And then it was kind of, people were trying to catch it and everything, for the animal people to come. And Donna went out there and she ended up speaking to the bird and it calmed down and she put something over its head and put it in a box. It's just incredible. Just what an anomaly. So that's what we're discussing. We're talking, and then how that meant to, what it meant to Donna. And I was asking Donna what it means to her, birds, and then she went and looked it up on the internet, just as I was saying it's what it means to you personally. But Donna, it's not a negative. When we look the things up like that on the internet, like birds, when you did now, for instance, what you saw there, the symbolism of birds, how did that resonate and connect?
Well, I did it the day it happened because
I see.
I remembered you saying, kind of shift my perspective, and I'm really working on that. And I'm looking at how it applies to me specifically.
There you
So
go.
one of the things about heron was kind of interesting is that it's not a bird that generally flies like in a flock.
Right.
It's very independent. It's
Yes.
it has a very strong independence and freedom about it.
Yes.
And they're generally alone, but they're very smart in that they are one of the few birds that knows how to use tools to get food.
Oh,
Like they'll know how to create a hook, almost like to put in water to get fish and things like that. They'll use sticks.
wow.
So yeah.
Sorry, what was that, Beena?
Leveraging.
There you go. They use leverage, in other words. We love leverage. Leverage is really incredible. So yeah, that's quite profound. So that's why I was saying, yes, look up those meanings. It's not like don't do it, but don't go only by that. Use it and make it personal to you. How when you even looking at those meanings, how it personally connects to you. And Beena was making that personal connection. Oh, here's a rare bird that uses sticks, tools, and tools are leverage. So it's about using the leverage. That's really profound. That's a really cool connection there, Beena. And it does apply to you as well, right, Donna?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Yes, it
magical.
does.
Man, that's really incredible. And that's wow. That's something else. I mean, just
Hello,
also
Olivia.
go ahead, Beena.
I'm just saying hello to Olivia.
Ah, right,
Hello.
right. Yes. Hello, gorgeous. Glad you could join us. Oh,
Hello.
awesome. Brilliant. Hello.
Hi, Olivia. Cecile.
Hi, Aseel. Hi, Donna.
Hi, Olivia. It's so good to hear you.
Likewise. And
Yeah.
my throat's hurting, so yeah.
Yeah. You're a little far from your microphone, Olivia. But we don't hear you quite so
Yeah.
clearly.
Yeah. Okay, how's that?
Yeah, slightly
Better.
better, but do more. Go even closer.
Okay.
Right. Or in your settings, turn up the sensitivity of your microphone. It might be set very low.
Yeah, that's possible. All
That's
right.
likely. All right. So, man, it's like after your story, Donna, it's like, man, where do we go from here? But there's always more. There's always more. All right. So,
Yes,
so Beena,
there is.
Beena, I wanted to connect to impeccability, and for you to, last time we spoke, you were talking about your decluttering and how you were decluttering your life and physically decluttering because there's a lot of stuff that you had to kind of get rid of, and you had a lot of excess stuff, but also that when we spoke about it, I recommended you connect the physical decluttering to your inner decluttering, psychologically, emotionally, all of that stuff, and so that you associate stuff that you're throwing out with stuff inside you that you're also throwing out. So I'm just kind of catching up Aseel and Donna on that. So I also
Okay.
want to ask, since then, how has things changed relative to the decluttering and the impeccability, the application of impeccability? How is that continuing? Because you made that post about how profound impeccability is. So I want to hear some more on that because that's very important and it's pertinent and it relates also to like Donna and how she was in the office and dealing with people. How impeccability is the core key of what keeps us going and what makes it all magical. Yes.
Yes. Okay. First, it was just like a random thought that I started. In the beginning, I was assuming that it's a random thought, but now I can say that it is because of that impeccability, the way of impeccability course I was doing. I already started that, but somehow it just came into my mind. Okay, now it is enough. I need to declutter my space. And by the way, in Pakistan, in Karachi, I'm from. So we live together with the family, my mother, my parents, and my other siblings. And though I have my own room, but we also have some guests. They are living right here. But it is a temporary thing. And then I started, though it is like a bit rude because we have guests, but still I said, okay, I want to declutter my house. But it was an urge really strong in my inside me. I said, no, this is the time I want to do. And I started that. In the beginning it was just a process, like physically I was just picking things. Okay, now it is useless, it is not really good now, and stuff like that. But when the process actually started and I start realizing that, okay, it is getting too much. I'm just taking out the stuff, and the pile is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and still I have more. The epiphany moment for me was when I started taking out my glass bangle collection, and I never actually aware of that I have an obsession or addiction of buying, purchasing that glass bangles. Uh, only my collection was thousands of glass bangles.
Wow.
I was storing uh, hundreds of shades, dozens of colors and designs, all different, all beautiful. all beautiful. It's still beautiful to me, but mostly I never actually wear. But the urge when I saw these things, and I said, okay, now I just can't resist. I need. And I never actually realized that from my early teens, I'm just collecting all these things and the boxes and coming out from everywhere. When I start to get, now this is the time I need to. And that thing, I just realized that my way of doing things was not actually appropriate. Because if I was enjoying those bangles, it was good, yes, okay, but I never saw them twice. Like, okay, yes, I bought something and I just put it in the box in the other side of the cupboard and cabinets and all that. It was even realizing that, okay, that I have an obsession. I was getting indulged in that addiction of buying things. Still, I was not realizing what was actually happening. And when I start decluttering stuff and stuff and stuff, and Sil said, Beena, do it with impeccability in your mind. Though I was doing this exactly without having awareness of that I am using that concept of impeccability. But I was doing. But when Sil said, Beena, do this with impeccability, and I said, okay, now this is the time. I'm saying out loud. Now I will do it with the impeccability concept.
Mm.
And then the things actually turns around. I start looking at things like, okay, Beena, why you did that? Why you bought this thing? Why you keep this thing? And why actually you never used it? Hold on. Okay, sorry.
It's all right.
Yeah, and there were three questions in my mind: why you bought this? Why you keep this? And why you didn't throw it out? And what was the use? There are a lot of questions, and it was it was my way of avoiding making decisions, taking decisions in my life.
Wow.
I was not taking ready to take control of my own life.
Take responsibility, yeah?
Responsibility, and it was huge.
That's very huge.
Yes, and why I was just keeping that, because I was feeling helpless in other areas of my life.
Mm.
So I was just buying those things and keeping them. Useless things. I'm saying useless, though I love them, but I'm saying useless because I never used those things.
Mm.
So it was kind of my accepting my helplessness. I don't have any control over my life. So whatever I can do, I'm doing. And that thing was actually controlling me.
That's very powerful.
Yeah, and that thing was actually controlling that behavior. My behavior was actually controlling me. And I just learned a lot of things when I just feeling just throwing out things or giving away. It's making me feeling light and lighter and lighter and lighter.
And soon you're going to fly, like Donna.
And it was not really a joyful journey. I feel depressed also because I feel empty inside. In the
Yeah, but
process,
empty
I
is
feel empty.
lightness. You can't fly if you're full of baggage. You got to be empty inside.
Oh God, I was feeling empty. I was feeling like, okay, Beena, you made a lot of mistakes. You spend the thousands of rupees on these useless things, and you were not aware. You were not really smart, impeccable, and other thing. And I was like, okay, yes, this is the time to just, okay, let good things go. But letting things go was depressing too. So if anyone just think that, okay, if I will do something with impeccability, I will be happy or joyful inside. No, you will feel some depression. You will feel some torn away kind of feelings. But these all are for your own good. Awareness is not always joyful. I believe in that. ultimately you will get benefits, but
Right.
the process is not always joyful. Be aware of that.
Oh,
Yes. Yeah.
in other words, good isn't always nice. It can be.
Yes.
They can go
Yeah.
together, but they don't always necessarily go
Yes.
together.
Yes.
Right, Beena.
And yes.
Then you spoke to Olivia and share with us what Olivia said to you, how and what she said and how that affected you, because that was
Yes.
huge for you.
Yes. And actually started when Olivia said that, okay, about self-love. She said few really incredible sentences, and it was because it is not my language, so I can't quote them right properly here, but it is because of her that she said about self, loving yourself. And loving yourself is not like, okay, pampering yourself all the time, okay, whatever you want to do, you can do because I love myself. No, loving
It's not
yourself
buying
is
thousands of bangles, in other words.
yes, exactly. Loving yourself is making wise decisions. Loving yourself is taking responsibility of your decisions. Loving yourself is doing things and taking decisions with impeccability. Thinking about, thinking smartly, thinking wisely about your actions and your reactions also.
Yeah.
So when Olivia said, and I said, okay, now it is time to take control of my life because it is my life and I deserve my smartness, my 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 wisdom, whatever. But this is what I deserve. The most deserving person for all these things is me.
Yes, 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 yes. Not just you, but Aseel and Donna and me and Olivia
Yes,
and each of us. We are deserving of our own self-love, in other words.
yes, yes. And then this process was not only about some obsessions and all that, but also some really deep emotions that I was not actually giving away, letting it go. I'm just for example, I'm saying that my father passed away when I was just 5 years old. But till till now, like last week, his briefcase he used to carry with him, and he was a businessman, so his files and everything in this briefcase, and he used to put that in side of his bed. Till now we were keeping that briefcase exact in the same position with all the things, because it was a way to feel that he is still with us.
Ah,
It is good because he was my father, so it is good for me, but it was actually not really good, not entirely good for me. Emotionally I was feeling like supported, like, okay, yes, he's here. But that thing, that small act of showing love to him was actually my way of not letting go, not actually accepting the fact that he is not physically with us.
why?
And that thing was not letting me grow as a mature adult person. And that is why I was not taking charge of my life.
Right.
That these kind of simple acts in our life shows us that how we, and they make a huge impact.
Yes, when you look at them from a symbolic point of view. Yeah.
Yes, yes, they make a huge impact, because I always feeling that, okay, now here is Baba's things around me, so he is there, so he is responsible. He is my superhero. He will take care of everything. He is spiritually with me, yes, but this is my life, and this is physically I have to take control of my decisions. I have to take responsibility. It was really painful for me to just letting go that thing, because it was like
And
it was
also,
it becomes part of my life, that to look at the briefcase sitting just beside my bed and feeling that, okay, yes, Baba is here. But it was not like obviously I'm saying in my mind every time, no, but subconsciously I was convinced that he is here, so he will take care of everything. I was not actually accepting the fact that he's no more here. I was not letting it go, and that grief and that insecurity was with me.
right.
And
Which
it's still, I'm not saying that I'm fully out of this. I'm in a buffer zone. I'm in a
right.
buffer zone, in the zone of transition.
That's it.
Still,
And also,
yeah,
you're allowing your father and your relationship with your father to transition from one that's
yes,
physical to one that's a spiritual one, and to say, hey, even though he's not here physically, he can still be with me emotionally and
yes,
psychologically, right? That transition
yes.
is very powerful. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I made a post, though I may try to make it funny and light, that okay, there must be some warning sign with that course before starting, that okay, be aware. It will affect you hugely in many ways, but and it will sprout like a magic bean and beanstalk, and you will amaze that how it is growing. But yes, it is a fact. I'm doing this, so I'm saying, because it is not like something I read a book and I'm saying that. No, it is just practically I'm doing. That's what I'm saying. It is like always feeling like, wow, now again it is proving itself again and again.
Mm.
If you read that small paragraph I posted, I always try to keep these things simple, because there's less a chance of making confusion and any confusion. So I just try to keep it simple, but the impact is huge in my life. Not only inside. Sometimes people assume that okay, if you're doing something like psychological course or working on your mind and perspective shifting and all that, so you will feel have changes only inside. No, it impacts you on physical level, on spiritual level, on emotional level, on psychological level.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal.
Yes,
It's a very
it's a
big
big
deal.
deal. It's a really big deal. And by that uh, decluttering process, doing with impeccability, after 6 years, of waiting for something and assuming something will happen, I can't go in detail because there are other people involved in that, so I can't name them. But after 6 years, I just made a decision just 2 days back, and I said no more. I can't tolerate any more of this. So you need to say it or accept it. Otherwise, I am going to detach myself from you.
Ah,
And it was huge. It is a part of decluttering with impeccability. I'm
brilliant.
not annoyed. I'm not upset. Yes, I feel that I was assuming, and I feel that, oh, Beena, you wasted your time so a very long time. You just wasted. It is not wasted, but it the if I was not doing this thing, I would never be able to make this decision. I would never be able. And the amazing part is that all other persons are really happy. They are not upset with me. I was assuming that they will feel, oh, they might cry
and that,
and all that.
and,
They
and
all
that,
are happy.
right. And Bina, because you behaving with impeccability, that's why
Yeah.
it's smooth and easy and no problem, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It usually is
But
that way. Yeah.
yeah. But again, I'm I'm not saying all the goody stuff here.
Right.
Yes.
Right. It's
It
not
hurts a
smooth, but
lot.
it's good.
Yeah, it hurts a lot. It needs a lot of courage. It needs a lot of awareness to be ready for the pain.
Right. But
Yeah, it
where did that
involves.
courage and the awareness come from? It came from your commitment to doing what you were doing with impeccability, right?
Yes, yes,
That's the core.
absolutely.
That's the key. That's the
Yes,
crux. That's the thing that changed it all for you. Yeah.
and
It's that magic
other than
number.
that, yes, and other than that, because I took a lot of time, I'm saying that to especially for Aseel and Donna, that when I started that, and the first thing just strikes me was the use of the proper use of words. Sorry.
So when you said
Proper
started that, you mean started the course? That's what you mean?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. When I started that course, the first thing that strikes me really deeply was the proper use of words, because for me, words are important. And I believe that there are a lot of people, I'm not cursing anyone, but there are a lot of people who are writing a lot of books, but not using proper words at proper place. the appropriate word and the appropriate terms for proper things. Like they are using it lamely. Sorry,
No, it's
but
true.
explaining. And then Sil said, "Okay, this is the word the power term more with the capital M." And I was like, oh, yes, now he's giving. So for me, the first lesson I learned was that impeccability is giving the due respect to each event, incident, person, even words,
Yes.
giving appropriate and required due respect. And when you give respect to even words, there is no chance that you will waste any time or energy in confusion.
Yes, exactly.
Which is
That's
quite
that's
common.
that's.
Which is quite common.
Oh, it's very profound what you're saying, Beena.
Yeah.
That's huge. That's huge. Beena,
Yes.
I'm not sure exactly how much time Aseel has, so I want to
Yes.
jump
So
to
please,
Aseel
please.
and hear Aseel's takeaway, because Aseel came to do the workshop with us here in our house a couple of nights back in Sedona here. So
Okay.
I'm keen to hear Aseel's takeaway on where she's at,
Yes.
how things are fitting and connecting, and so on.
Can I
Yes.
share something
Oh,
real
please,
Oh, yes,
quick?
Donna.
please.
Oh, sure, please. Yeah, no
This
problem.
this is just funny. I have my computer at work, but I have the phone sitting there,
Uh-huh.
and I have these screens that randomly come on my computer. there's a blue heron on there. Isn't that funny?
Oh, I
There's
love it.
literally a blue heron on my computer screen. I
That's
just had to
incredible.
share
No,
that.
I love
That's
that you
Wow.
did
crazy.
that. Oh, that's very important. You know, it's emphasis and attention. They are a power, and we have to understand that power comes from our attention and our emphasis. So lots of magic happens when we start to focus on things very intensely. It happens like that. It's really incredible how it works.
Oh,
Quite
yes, it
Obviously.
is.
magical.
It is. And by the way, a seal in Urdu, a seal means, in my language, a seal means pure and real. It's beautiful.
Fantastic,
that's
fantastic. Uh,
that's exactly what it means.
uh,
Ah,
bye.
It-
Now,
lovely.
you can speak Urdu as well, Asil, or no?
no, my native language is Arabic.
Arabic. All
Okay.
right. Okay.
Okay, so
Arabic.
same. It is derived from Arabic in Urdu.
Correct.
Yeah,
Wow, wow.
it's a
Brilliant.
beautiful name.
Thank you.
Beena's name, it really represents who she is quite literally, and there's a lot of magic in Beena's name and how it came about, but that's another story for another time. That's one of those life magic things that it's just quite amazing, which is why she connects to your name. So say again what it means, Asil.
Like Bina said, it means pure and origin, and but also it has another meaning that I personally have sort of connected with all my life. It describes the word asal is the root of the word, and it describes um, the face of the full moon, the cheeks of the full moon, the roundness, the fullness, the softness of the cheeks of the moon. And I was born on a full moon.
Wow.
I came after two boys, and my parents were so thrilled. They couldn't find a name for me. They were just too excited. So the nurse.
Wow.
Wow, it's a beautiful
Then
name.
thank you. So the nurse or the nun at the time said to them, "I'm gonna name her Aseel," and my parents, "Okay, that sounds amazing."
Yes.
Wow. 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 Wow.
Yeah,
That's really interesting. That's magical. Yeah, there's sometimes there's all sorts of unusual things in our lives, and we need to pay attention to them because they have significance. So when you put all that together, that's a whole big long story there. So
yeah. And I personally all my life have connected with the energy of the moon, so it's very powerful for me.
wow, wow,
Yeah, yeah.
magical.
So thank you. So let's see. I did a crazy last minute thing. I had one night in Sedona. Sorry, I had few. I was in Sedona for almost 5 days, but the last day, my
Nice.
girlfriend left, and I had a whole day by myself. And I just didn't know what to do with myself because I was like, oh, okay, I need to find accommodation. I need to find something that's fulfilling spiritually. And So I texted Sal and Olivia. I found them on Airbnb, and I texted them at like 6 o'clock on a Thursday night, asking if I can attend their 7 o'clock session.
Oh, it
And
was
they
nice though.
and they were kind enough to make the accommodations to see me, and we had a beautiful evening. I very much enjoyed meeting both of them. They're both very different, but they're very connected in so many ways, and I connected to them. We in our session we did I don't know if you guys know their course, but it's the Ten Commandments. And what my take at the end was the just being able to, let's see, how do I say this, find kind of like at the end of the session I felt like there was everything just filtered down to the essence of how I want to live my life.
Yes.
So it changed from how I like the Ten Commandments for other people's to live, but into my own Ten Commandments.
Yes.
And
That's the point of that exercise. Yes. To make your
yes,
own.
absolutely. And a lot of it came from within me. So I already have the sort of the seeds in me for all that.
Yes.
But what was probably more important to me is to reflect it on inward. So yes, I may be nice to others, I may be giving to others, I may be forgiving and accepting, but I wanted to reflect it onto myself.
Yes. Yes.
And that's a bit of a challenge, but it's also very powerful. So having said that, I had spent that day, I got my rental car like at noon or 1, and then I spent like 3-4 hours looking for accommodations for my last magical night in Sedona. And I landed the spot. It's Airbnb. And then when I came, I didn't leave their house till like 10:30 or 11, and I came to my place where I'm supposed to stay, and I chose to I realized how amazing I was in choosing this place. So it was like suddenly like, wow, I'm always really hard on myself for not being able to make a decision. And most people, they look at 3 hotels, say, okay, we're just gonna pick one, it's one night and it's over. For me, it was like, no, I want to be sleeping under the stars, I want to be in a jacuzzi,
Wow.
I want to experience the moon, I want to experience the mountains and the sunrise. I wanted it all. And I got it all. Like in this one spot that I chose, I got everything I wanted.
Brilliant.
Which was really like, I was very thankful for my process, the long process to choose. And I was thankful for my inner wisdom. And so, yeah, it made me reflect inside, and I was thankful for your session because it kind of put it all together. So that was my moment of like, okay, Aseel, you're great.
There you go.
You gave me exactly what I've been looking for.
That's fabulous. That's fabulous. Yes, self-appreciation is really awesome. We can appreciate ourselves and love ourselves even though we're not perfect. We have to understand that. So we are enough, but we're also more. That's what we started with. And you're making that circle, that loop come together. Right? That's what we started with Donna, with Beena, all of us. That's the whole point. We have to understand that we are enough and we also more. Yeah?
Exactly. And then just to touch a little bit on what Beena was saying with her dad. I'm sorry for your loss, Beena. My dad passed away a year and a half ago, and since then I've had this. I've lived all my life independent, and my parents lived in the Middle East. So we have this faraway relationship, but nevertheless, it's ultimate loving your parents, no question about it. So when I lost my father, I yes, I took some of his belonging. I brought it home to the U.S. with me. But I think I you know, I shifted into this. I don't have him physically in this world, but he is with me everywhere I go.
Exactly.
um, and I was diagnosed with breast cancer, you know, just a year and a half ago,
Oh,
and
wow.
and I chose not to tell my parents about it because they're far away or they're old, and it will basically kill them.
Right.
So, but then my father, all his life, said to us in a weird way, it's like, I always know when I'm gonna go, and we always laughed at him, always
Wow.
laughed at him. It's like nobody on this earth knows when they're gonna die. And he passed away exactly a week before my operation.
Wow.
This made it, you know, at the time made it so much more harder because I had to fly back and go through the burial and everything, and take care of my mother. And but on the other hand, I came back, I landed in the US like at midnight, and my operation was 8 in the morning the following day. But
Wow.
I had this thing with me. I was like, I understand why my dad did this, because he's with me in this and going through this operation, going through this process.
Excellent.
And that was my take on it. And since then he's been like, I mean, I can be struggling with a decision. I'm like, come on, Dad, where are you? Come on. I'll talk to him all the time.
Magical. Magical. So you also transitioned your relationship with your father to one being a physical earthly relationship to being a spiritual relationship. Yes? There's that profound transition.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
We don't lose people. We just transition to a different relationship.
Absolutely.
That's the key. That transition is a very powerful word in this case, because when we understand that and connect to it, we see how it works. And we have now a say, hey, it's not that I've lost anything. I simply have to transition to a different relationship. That's all.
Absolutely, absolutely. And honestly, like, I think one of the things that I really, really wanted to do in Sedona, like sleep under the stars and the moon and the mountains, it felt like it's my connection to my father.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
On, like, you know, the rest of the day at time I was staying with my girlfriend at like Holiday Inn Express, awful place, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But it was like time to take these walls and ceilings down, and I just want to be out and inhale, like just take it all in. And it was beautiful. I felt his presence, and it was amazing. So
That's fantastic. That's
yeah.
fantastic. All right. I want to say something really powerful and something for the dictionary of power to put it in there. The world doesn't work the way we think it does. I'll
I
say
agree with that. Yeah.
the world doesn't work the way we think it does. And what follows from that is we ourselves, we don't work the way we think we do either. So I like to see your videos because I can see Donna taking notes, you see, and I can wait until she's finished taking the note because this is a big point. It's a huge, huge, huge point. So if we take this as a takeaway from the entire session, we take Donna's magical story, we take Beena's magical story, we take Aseel's magical story, we put it all together. What does it mean? It means the world doesn't work the way we think it does. Hey, there's Aseel. Oh, hello, hello, hello.
Hi, everyone.
Oh, it's lovely to see you, Aseel. That's fantastic. Thank you for coming on. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Someday we'll see.
Sorry, I've
I don't
never
know
used
why,
this.
Beena.
I didn't know how to do it.
Oh, it's not a problem. We've seen all the various hair configurations over time, so don't worry about it. It's all good. So maybe Beena will show us her face too for a little bit here before we go. But this point of the world not working the way we think it does, it is huge. If we look at the commonality between your stories that you've shared, and Olivia and I, over time, you'll hear our stories of how we've had magical experiences and how the world didn't work the way we think it does. It is really, really, really profound. And it's a big deal. And it's something to keep in mind that, hey, there's other stuff going on. And just as the world doesn't work the way we think it does, neither do we. We are more than what we think we are and what we know we are, and we have all this potential magicalness to connect to. And as as far as we're concerned, and when we look at ourselves, we have to understand not only is there always more to life, there's always more to us ourselves as well.
Yes, agree.
Right, Donna?
Indeed.
Aseel, you agree? Yeah.
100%.
It's really something. And so that's our joy. It's connecting not only to the more of the world, but the more of ourselves as well. That's our joy. It's not something to stress us and overwhelm us. No, it's a magical adventure. We're always going to be saying, hey, there's more, there's more, there's more. We're going to connect to more. And it's really exciting in that way. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yes,
profound
and
as well.
it always keeps us positive. It always keeps us motivated.
Exactly.
So the concept of more is really, really something really huge. Because
Yes.
every time, if you just think that, okay, now this is something that's ending, but no, there is more. There is always more. So
Exactly.
you don't lose your hopes. You don't lose your positivity.
Right.
So it's an amazing concept.
And it keeps us humble as well, right?
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes, of course.
That's very important. When there's always more, how can we not be humble? We have to understand that, hey, you know what? Hey, relative to the universe, I'm just insignificant. But just because I'm insignificant relatively doesn't mean that I'm nothing. I am something. I'm good. I'm impeccable. We live as spirit warriors, or however we are more as well. And that is something that where we appreciate ourselves as well. That, hey, that appreciation comes from the fact that we are something and we are more, and that our appreciation of self is based on our goodness and on our impeccability, on our sensibility and all that stuff. So it's just we have to realize that this is a magical whole perspective that both keeps us humble and at the same time allows us to fully appreciate who we are and enjoy ourselves. And as Beena was saying, that's self-love. Olivia, if you got your mic sorted, you want to share what you said to Beena about self-love again, please? Oh, I muted you, Olivia, because your mic was giving sounds, but I'll unmute you just in case.
Okay.
Olivia?
Actually, my head was going to just, with everything that was said, with Donna's story, Beena, and Aseel, that we are life, and the more the cosmos flows through us. And when we embrace that more, when we experience more of life, it is enlivening, and there's where that appreciation comes in, and especially self-appreciation. I think everything starts with the self, that self-honesty, that self-trust, and that self-appreciation that we are part of this immensity, the more, the cosmos, and to let it just flow through us, and then we connect to the magic and the marvels that is us, and everything else out there. The moon, the stars, the mountains, like Aseel was saying. Everything.
We are part of it all, in other words, you're saying, Olivia.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now we are the moon and the trees and the stars. We are. I just wanted to hear from you, because when you say it, it connects to that love and that awesomeness. You feel it when you say it so magically, right?
And that was the feeling I got with everything else that was said, was that when we open up, we just become these incredible conduits, these channels for all the magic, because
Yes.
we are the magic. The magic is us. We are the mystery, and the mystery, is us. It's we fractals of the bigger picture.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. That is most magical. And on that note, I think that's the perfect place for us to and as much as I don't want to end the session, but it seems like it's a good place to go, because we can take that and really kind of let it sink in and settle into us and start to live it. Yes, because that's the point. Without application, all of this is meaningless. So we have to live this, what we've been talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. Seek and see the marvels.
Seek
Yeah.
and see the marvels of the world. Yes, indeed. All right,
Yeah.
all right. Thank you for being here, Donna, Aseel, Beena. Oh, it's just
Okay.
magical.
Thank
Still, I
you.
want to say something.
Thank you.
Say again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anytime.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry, I didn't hear what you said, Aseel. Did you say something?
No, I just said thank you so much for
Oh,
everything.
did you say
Thank you.
something then, Beena?
Yes. Still, I just need some uh, more talk with us. Like the way you the word you use that. Okay. The world is not work in the way we think of,
But
and
the way we
slowly
think
also.
it works. That's what I was saying.
Yes.
The world doesn't work the way we think it works.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I just want to be know more about it. I just want to discuss more, not now, but in future. Yes.
Okay. Okay. I tell you what. When like a new kind of perception or a conception like that gets introduced, usually we can discuss it right away. But sometimes it's really good to let it kind of sit and
Yes.
settle and sink in, and then think it through. And then, like, what does it mean to me? How does this work? How does it actually apply in life? And then come back on the next session and then share what you figured it out to mean for you. And that is very, very powerful. So that we try and do that on purpose, deliberately. So we take that away, and then we go and we figure it out for ourselves, and then we come back and we share. That's really huge, because that's like, Donna, that's what you've been doing, right?
That is correct.
And it's very powerful. It's very powerful, because then you start to share your own understanding, your own figuring out of what that means. And that's way more powerful than somebody sharing their understanding of it. Yes, that's helpful. And that will come when you do the sharing. Then we'll give a feedback takeaway on that. But first, if we can hear it like directly from that rawness, that's very powerful exercise to kind of see how it works and applies, what it means to you, how you figure it out, and that your understanding likely will change as it goes, over the next couple of days until we speak again. It's very, very
Okay.
powerful.
Yes, and thank you so much, Aseel. It's really
Thank
lovely.
Yes.
See
Thank
you.
you so
Yes.
much,
And
Beena, and I'm inspired by your decluttering. So I'm gonna spend the day decluttering my
Yes,
own home.
and hopefully Aseel is thinking of joining the course. So hopefully at some point we'll have Aseel on regularly. And until that time, you're welcome to join. I'll send you the links, but hopefully that you can also see what we're doing in the bigger sense of the course. And so sometimes we'll do some of the sessions on live on these as interactive instead of you doing them yourselves. I'll show you what I mean real quick. We'll do a screen share like this, and then we'll actually, this is what the session looks like. Now this is where I can do it, so this, you won't see this on the when you do it, but then we can go through them like this, and we just do whatever.
yes,
So yeah, it's pretty fun when we do it together like that, as an interactive, like you guys read and then we discuss as we go along. It's very powerful, and it's a lot of fun. So I just want to kind of fill Aseel in with what we do. That's not quite how this course is set up. It's kind of a bonus. Both Beena and Donna, I don't know, it just happened that we just started doing those together online like that. In these live sessions, I mean, to do the sessions jointly, and it's really fun. It's really fun to do those that way. So
for
hopefully
me, it
you'll
was
join us for that at some point, Aseel. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
for
Sal.
me. Yeah, for me, it was like welcome to Wonderland, Beena.
We have a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun. I mean,
Yes, yes.
today, it feels to me like my heart is really touched today in a very deep way. Starting with your stories, Donna, your experience, your anomalies, it really touched my heart deeply. So the mood today is a little different to what it's been on other days. Am I right, Beena? Am I right,
Yes,
Donna?
yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I'm too serious when we are doing together like sessions. I'm
Right.
too serious. I asked a lot of questions, and I just said, okay, let it sink in. Then I will say yes, or otherwise I will say no, because I asked.
We're so serious. We have huge fun when we do that. It's always tremendous fun.
Absolutely.
Right. But I'm saying today there
Absolutely.
was It was kind of like I'm not sure how to describe it, but a little bit of I don't want to say sad because it's not sad, isn't the right word, but there was
Then
a deeperness to today that touched me in my heart
Yes,
somewhat, you know. So
emotionally we are connected, more connected today.
right, but in a real like a deep way, and it started with Donna's experience with the birds. You know that it was there was a lot of depth to that, and you know something to really think about. So the mood, I just want to say for Aseel, it's not always this mood. It just happens to be today. You know, it's different every time. You know, as you know from when we had the workshop together. You know, it's a different experience. You know.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But we touch, you know, whatever is pertinent and relevant and what's appropriate. And today was very powerful because there was a unity of the stories that connected together. And that to me is the magicalness, how each of you shared completely different stories, but they're all intersected and all connected. Yeah, Olivia?
I agree. That's why when you said about what you said to Dina, I was like, well, what I was feeling was something else. Yes, I could connect it. Was that connection to the more, to the largeness, and to the mystery that we're part of.
Right.
That's what I felt most feeling,
Right.
and I think that is what you're trying to say in essence, that the mood today is very different because of that connection to the mystery,
Right.
to the ineffable,
Yes.
to place.
Yes.
Right.
And there's a gentleness and a certain tenderness
That's the word, tenderness. Yes.
Tenderness.
that today.
Yes. Yes. It's like Donna, Aseel, and Beena are little fragments of the moon that have come down to Earth, and we get to touch and
Yes.
connect them.
Oh
Really,
my God.
that's how I
Yeah.
feel. That's the best way to express it. Am I right? Donna, Beena, would you agree? Not just with Aseel.
Oh yes.
You're all your little parts of the moon that's come down to Earth, you know. So
The first thing when I just came here, the first thing I noticed that when Donna smiled, the whole thing was changing. Like, okay, I said she brightens up
Yeah.
everything.
Yes.
It is beautiful. Donna, you must keep smiling. And
It's the same for us. You know, I've met Aseel in person, so it's the same thing.
yes.
And you
And
know,
when she,
I've seen
her
you. I
voice
think
is so sweet. Her voice is so sweet, and she can express really well. So it is amazing to hear Aseel also, and I just love her name.
yes.
And
Next time we're going to see you on camera, or unless you can see the camera. Oh, you said you want to put on the camera because you got people behind you. That's
oh
the,
yes, yes. I don't want to violate their privacy.
right. I got you. I got you. You got to sit with the wall behind you, Beena. You got to turn your computer around, put the wall behind you, so that we can only see you. Because we are
Okay,
going to see you, Beena.
I will try to make some arrangement
All
next
right,
time.
please do, please do, please do. It's most important. It's most important. Yeah, so we can connect, you know, because hey, you know, the moon without seeing the moon, it's not the same, right?
No, it's okay.
We gotta see those parts of the moon. Ah, that's just magical. That's just magical. Before we go, does anybody have something they want to share? We don't have to go. I'm just being considerate, but we can keep going if you guys want, you know. Donna, you good? Aseel, you good?
Thank you.
I think this is a great place to end for me.
I agree.
I have a lot to let simmer in.
Yes, that's why that's as much as I love, and I can literally do this all day. And same with Olivia,
Right.
but at some point, you know, it's very important to stop at a point where we have that magic, and we say yes, like you said, Donna, we're gonna let that magic simmer and let it percolate and let it infuse our being. That's what we want. We want to let it filter down all the way and get it right into our body everywhere, to feel this magic so that we can connect to it fully, and that we actually change. And that change comes from that application of those feelings and understandings. That's the important thing, because without application, all meaningless. Yes?
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Absolutely.
All right. Goodbye, everybody. And this was
Bye. Thank you.
this was super awesome and fun. I love it. Love you guys all as well. And we'll meet again. The next meeting, just for Aseel, it's on Wednesday, and Wednesday, 5 o'clock Arizona time, which is 9 Eastern time, because we're same as Pacific right now. But we'll send an email that says the time and all that. So we'll let you know. But then again, sometimes we have before then we get together and we have sessions. So if there's a meeting that comes up, we'll let you know as well.
Thank you so much.
Brilliant. Pleasure. All right.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye bye,
Bye-bye,
everyone.
everybody.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.
And meeting for all.